Disclaimer: this video will be touching on some difficult and existential topics, so if you're not willing to engage in that, I'd recommend clicking away. Furthermore, this video will be different from my previous video essays. It's mainly about the content of what I'm saying, so I'll be using gameplay from Apex Legends in the background instead of splicing together clips from different games or different situations, because I'm not specifically talking about a game. Also, be sure to check out my good friend Lev's Arrowhead in the description. They allowed me to use their photo mode pictures for the thumbnail for this video, so thank you to them. They are the best. I hope you all enjoy this video. The simulation hypothesis is a hypothesis popularized by Nick Bostrom, which theorizes that all of existence is an artificially created simulation. The hypothesis posits the belief that we exist in a simulated reality created by some higher power or a higher, more intelligent race. It's a very interesting theory that questions the validity of our existence, and if you're interested, I'd suggest doing some more research for yourself, as I won't be going too in-depth into the theory itself. No, instead, I'm going to be talking about a bizarre and somewhat existential series of thoughts I had the other day while playing Far Cry 6, which caused me to draw the conclusion that I might be a murderer. Every day, mankind pushes further and further into different fields of science. We discover and develop new things every single day. Modern technology can achieve things that were thought impossible just a few years ago. For decades now, we have created simulations of our own, and they have grown in depth and complexity as time has gone on. We have incorporated our stories into these simulations, giving lives to these characters and worlds. Modern video games are incredibly realistic and lifelike. Games like The Last of Us Part 2 and Red Dead Redemption 2 have completely shattered expectations, providing heavy, detailed, and almost overwhelming feelings of immersion. These games, to me, felt exceptionally real. The characters felt like real, genuine people. People that could exist in the real world. In our world, which is something I talked about in my video, The Flaws of the Human Personality. The simulations we create are becoming almost terrifyingly lifelike, and things once thought to be science fiction are inching closer and closer to a horrifying, haunting reality. What if the people we mindlessly kill in these games can feel everything? So let's talk about storytelling. We create stories to teach lessons, to spread our experiences, our emotions, our feelings. We spread messages, constantly building worlds and characters that mean things to us. We give life to these characters and these worlds. They are extensions of us, stemming from our beliefs, our cultures, our histories, and everything we witness and go through. We tell stories through many different mediums and give life to people, because that's what these characters are. We made them people, and through that, we simulate a reality. It's separate from ours because it doesn't truly exist. It's fiction, right? Created in the mind of somebody who wanted to tell a story or build a world. Nobody in those worlds or stories really exists. They're just made up people doing made up things in made up places. Yeah, sure, they draw from real people and real experiences, but they're not really real. Their emotions are fake, their experiences are fake, their existence is fake. When they die, they're not actually dying because they never really lived. But if we created them, aren't they alive? Who are we to say what's real and what isn't when our existence itself is so terribly subjective? And what if the characters we create exist in the same way we do? If we're just a simulation created by a higher power, then are the simulations we create the same? If we're just thought up in the mind of some higher race, then these characters we think up can be the same. They're just people created in the mind of a higher race. In the way we were given life by a higher power, are we not doing the same thing to these worlds we think into existence? How can we tell stories about the human condition and yet consider these fictional characters as never truly human, simply because they aren't physically present in the same plane of existence as we are? It's a difficult thought. With games like The Last of Us Part 2, especially, where every enemy killed can choke on their own blood and release a blood-curdling scream for help, or call their friends by name, it's disturbing and extremely unsettling. Listening to these sounds and thinking about the depth of your actions. Oftentimes, I've thought to myself while playing this game, I think I just killed a human being. It feels like they were alive and I took that life from them. And, of course, the game itself is supposed to make you question your choices, to question whether all this violence is really worth it. That's the purpose, or at least one purpose, of the narrative. The weight of Ellie's actions, at least to me, felt like the weight of my own. Every blood-curdling scream that escaped from the NPC's lips made me question what I was doing, made me question the validity of the violent atrocities I was committing, because the burden of taking a life is plenty, and it's not a burden I'm comfortable experiencing. What if they can feel it all? What if they have families? What if they truly exist? And what if their reality is real to them? For all the time I've been playing video games, every piece of code, every random NPC, and every enemy I've killed might have actually, genuinely been murdered by me. It seems to me that I killed people with actual thoughts, emotions, feelings, and an existence. The interactivity of video games is brutal in nature because you are actively partaking in the actions that your player character engages with. Thus, if you think about it for too long, it feels so much heavier because you're engaging in violent acts of murder. But yeah, sure, they'll respawn or something. I'm sure their families won't miss them or anything because they're not really dead, right? They never really existed in the first place. They have no emotions. I'm sure the blood we've spilt means nothing, because it's all just a simulation where nobody really gets hurt and nothing really matters because these people aren't real. It's just code, right? The possibilities of the simulations of our creation are endless, and the complexity of them increases with every step forward. Thus, let's say that our reality was fabricated by a higher power. If our existence is simply an illusion, it must have come from somewhere. The code of our universe had to have been coded by somebody or something, right? This higher existence might even be a simulation itself, and the people that simulated them might also be a simulation. We could be at the end of a giant stack of simulations. Every reality creates simulations and is itself a simulation. Simulations within simulations within simulations. Simulationception, if you will. If this is the case, then eventually the simulations we create will get complex enough that it'll become a reality for the people in the simulation. And in that case, anything they experience will be real to them. The pain we put them through, the tragedies of their world, all of it will feel truly real, the same way everything feels real to us. They will exist the same way we do. Maybe in our world, all the tragedies that take place are the product of some sick, twisted game played on us by the people that made us. And in saying this, I am in no way trying to detract from the severity and seriousness of the things that happen in our world. I'm merely stating that the possibility that if we exist in a simulation, somebody is manipulating everything for a reason we could never understand. Our tech, however, does not seem to have the complexity needed to replicate our emotions just yet. We haven't been able to properly create extremely high-tech artificial intelligence or insert real human experiences into a digital world. But how far are we from that? If we're a simulation after all, how long will it take before we create complex and detailed simulations of our own? Simulations where people can think for themselves and feel for themselves, where our code is just another human. Regardless of everything, at the end of the day, it's quite horrifying to think that maybe, just maybe, every life I take while simply playing video games is a real life. So, it's been a minute, hasn't it? I've been swamped with university work among many other life things, so I'm really sorry it took so long to finally upload again. I'm really trying though, and I hope to get some more videos out soon. I took some time to reflect on what I really wanted to do, and this is kind of it. Along with other types of video essays, gameplays, and other things, I just really enjoy philosophy, psychology, and other thought-provoking topics, so I'd like to talk about them, and I really hope you guys enjoyed me talking about them. I appreciate you guys very much for sticking with me. It means the world to me. Let's see if we can finally hit that 200 subscriber mark soon, huh? That's all I have to say for this video. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing if you're new, and click the notification bell so that you never miss my uploads. My Twitter, Discord, and other socials are linked below, so come by if you'd like to join the Lighthouse community. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to look for the light, and goodbye for now.